follow-up question. I'll come to that in a while. Hold on. My follow-up question really is, you mentioned at least 2 surveys that you've done, which we don't know about. One was,
media consumption.
Yeah, media consumption. You mentioned that people come to the mainstream media for news, but they go to the online for views. Two questions about this. One is, are you doing as government, because of the multiplicity of blogs and media, do you find that you have to do a lot more surveys to kind of really get to the reality that Albert was mentioning? Is that something is that a byproduct of this age, which Leslie mentioned also, that there are just so many voices out there, you don't know which is the reality, so you really have to do a lot more kind of surveys and research to kind of really get what the reality is? That's my first question. Second question is, will you kindly share some of these research surveys with us? I'd like to know. I didn't know that they didn't come to us for views.
Less so.
So now, would you, if the government is doing more, assuming you are, would you at least sort of maybe share it with not just the mainstream media, but with everybody, so that we all know what you think the reality is?
Okay. We've done it for a couple of years running already. I think what we will want to do is do it one more time, and then perhaps share some of that findings, so that there is a certain trend, and it's not just a one-off, one point along the line, and you really don't know what the picture is. All right. I think, if I'm not wrong, we are not the only ones doing those surveys. If I remember reading in Today, an article by Lo Chi Kong, done maybe about 6 months ago. So obviously MediaCorp is doing surveys, and I'm sure SPH must be doing it as well. We are interested in media consumption patterns. Okay, and in part it is that, yes, new media or digital media, it's a space that more and more people are going to. They're spending more time there, certainly. There's a lot of information, and we want to understand what their patterns are, what draws them to this. But ultimately, we want to know whether, in terms of looking for news, it is something that they would find largely in the traditional space, or whether they are going to the new media sites, and if so, is it from the online sites of the established institutions? Is it from foreign websites, or is it from discussion forum, where it is really opinions of peers that are influencing them? So I would say that we're not doing more surveys in that sense. I really don't know, in say 5 years ago, how many surveys we did versus what we are doing now. But this one started at the end of 2007, and so we obviously planned it earlier than that. And we decided that it was interesting, given the developments in the landscape, that we ought to pay a bit of attention to this and understand what's happening. Okay. So at due course, we would release maybe a little monograph out and share with you all what we found.